Bitcoin falls, taking some altcoins with it to the downside. But how big of a fall is this? How meaningful of a fall is it? What impact does it have on crypto markets right now, in this moment, tonight, February 14th? Let's dive in. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit that like, hit that subscribe on the way in. And seriously, like, if you're in the live stream right now, like, hit that like, smash that like a million times for me as we get this ball rolling. It's funny, like, I put the thumbnail up, Bitcoin falls. It's like a big thing. We're all watching the charts. We're all seeing crypto. It went down a little. And you open a daily, like I opened up a daily chart here to start this live stream after I was just on the hourly chart looking at this drop. This is the drop I'm talking about. But then I opened the daily and then I was like, wait, what am I doing? Why am I doing an urgent live stream right now? It's like crickets in the background as I look at this daily chart. It's like nothing's happening. That's why everybody, you have to always zoom out on the charts. Just zoom out, take a chill pill. But you know, we're all in the hourly lately. We're all in the hourly. We're waiting for that breakout. What's funny is, like, just 2 hours ago, I tweeted this. This is Bitcoin technical analysis. See the targets, visualize the experience, and make your current decisions based on those potential outcomes. You will win. And yeah, everybody, listen, when we're in these patterns, some have, 60% of the data suggests that it will break to the upside. You get some type of sense of where the break will be, but at the end of the day, nobody knows which direction it's going to go. And that's why we do technical analysis, though, to really get our confirmations. And that's why I wanted to go live right now, because there's really, really cool things happening on the hourly chart that I really wanted to discuss. This was a video from just this morning. Check this very quick clip out. This green channel. This is where you want to be careful. This is where we're looking for potential bearish break to the downside. And it all starts with what is happening right here, right now. So we were just talking about that. We're talking about the short-term resistance. And let's just break that down real quick. The resistance that I talked about in that video, what was playing out. And this is the move. We got the move I just was talking about. We were just looking for, and we're in it. As I do this live stream, we're in it, everybody. Here it is, testing that lower trend line, and it hit the exact resistance we were talking about in the video, which was the short-term swing high to the lower trend swing low, lower trend line swing low. And look at this. There's the resistance, the green channel, Fibonacci retracement. Works on the macro in terms of Bitcoin cycles, and it works on the micro in terms of hourly charts when we're all just tracking these charts. And this was the resistance. Bitcoin hit it. Didn't even make it to that 786, almost got to the 786 on the hourly, and we saw resistance, Obviously, all of us, most of us, if you're not shorting Bitcoin, wanted to break it, wanted to break this upper trend line. Didn't happen. So here we are as I do this live stream, and we're testing the very trend line that we just were talking about in that video, the green trend line of the rising wedge. Now, this is what's interesting. Bitcoin basically, we have a touch here, we have a touch here, we have a touch here, we have a touch here. This was forming earlier today. It was a very speculative falling wedge, falling channel. But for me, this works. And all day I've had it charted. And basically, actually, since I did the video, I basically had it charted. And when we're looking at it right now, Bitcoin essentially hitting just this target perfectly confluent with this green trend line. So a very micro, very, very short-term pattern hitting more of a midterm trend line. So here we are, as I do this video, at support. Now, what I want to discuss is how often these moves have happened in just the last months, in recent months. And you can just zoom out on the chart and you can just check this out. Bitcoin dipping, but other coins dipping. And, I know a lot of you are watching all different types of altcoins. But I just want to just let's go to Ethereum. So if we look at Ethereum, right, this move, and again, it's like crickets when we're looking at a daily chart. People are feeling this move, and that's why I'm doing this live stream. But this move right here, just look at the daily chart on Ethereum. This is where we are. Now, look at February 7th and what that turned into. And one of the things we really should watch for is how low the volume is on the short side and the buying pressure on the bullish side. We want to watch that. And my eyes really gravitate to this day. This was February 11th. I should have pulled up a video from that day as we track the markets. February 11th, Ethereum dipping, Bitcoin dipped. If I go to a Bitcoin chart and just go to a daily chart, here's February 11th right here on the Bitcoin chart. Look at that wick. If we're going to look at price range, we're looking at a price range of a 20% dip real quick. Cardano. Look at Cardano on January 11th. Again, huge dip for Cardano. These are truly just altcoins and Bitcoin consolidating in a bull market. And that's really what I wanted to come on here and say, because I know there's so many new people in crypto right now. And I know right now they're probably, looking for some updates on what's going on in the markets, especially if you're in an altcoin like Cardano, other altcoins that are more volatile. If you actually go to Ethereum's just chilling. Ethereum's kind of hanging in there. And I'm sure there's many other altcoins maybe hanging in there, many maybe even more volatile. But in a bull market, this is what we have to expect. And usually I use the word anticipate, but we always have to expect some type of consolidation. Now, we can anticipate that 30% range dip, 40% range dip. We can't expect that because we know the buying pressure. We know what's happening in crypto right now. The supply shock that's happening is crazy. And I think that's why we're seeing these daily candles that look like this. We're getting these dips very quick. This is Cardano, by the way. And I'm just using this as an example. I've been tracking it obviously a lot, but you can use any altcoin. Here's Ethereum. We're getting these big consolidations and they're hitting maybe the 20-day moving average. They're not quite getting down there to that 50-day moving average. And so here we are. Ethereum's getting close to that 20-day moving average right now. Bitcoin is actually still pretty overextended from the 20-day moving average, but still consolidating nonetheless. Let me remove this. And you can just see. So Bitcoin right now, if we want to dig it back into this chart and go look at it, right now, if we zoom in on the hourly chart, Bitcoin is just hanging out in still an upward consolidation pattern with two targets. And you can actually see, if I zoom in on this chart, Bitcoin did break this trend line. It wicked down and it just got scooped up so quick. Just look at that on the hourly chart. That's not to say it's not going to continue down, everybody. So let's talk about that for a second in terms of the actual technical pattern we see. We know we have a breakout target, 55,000 we've been talking about, and then to the downside, right in that $42,000 range. It's to the downside. What would a move like that look like? Very simple. Potential little, obviously, bounce, maybe a little bit of consolidation, and then continuation to the downside. So if we see that, if we see another break to the downside and we start closing these hourly candles now below this trend line, then you can start being a little concerned. But the question is, and I think I put it in the title. I forget, what did I put in the title of this? What does it really mean for Bitcoin? Because if we're going to hit our target to the downside, then from where Bitcoin is right now, and this is just me speaking to you on a Sunday evening, this would be like a 10% dip. And for Bitcoin to dip to $42,000 target, when we're watching the hourly chart, the volatility involved in that, it definitely, especially when it happens in like a minute, like this little dip, it just happened very quickly. The volatility kind of can create some emotion, but really, what is a 10% dip for Bitcoin, everybody? Especially when we're in the middle of a bull market for Bitcoin. So, take it for what it's worth. This is just a very simple consolidation right now for Bitcoin, and it actually hasn't even, in a concerning way, broken this lower trend line. We don't have any hourly candles closing below that trend line. So appreciate you all cruising by. Hit that like on your way in. It means a lot to me, trying to get these live stream momentums. But I appreciate you cruising by. So I want to go over to this chart. This is the 6-hour chart. This is just what we've been talking about. And I can't say it enough, how this resistance area, and this is what we've been tracking, I think, since we got there. This was February 8th or 9th. If you've been watching these YouTube videos, you know the resistance area. For anybody new here, I'll just chart it really quickly. It's basically consists of two Fibonacci's that we've tracked actually prior to this. which was this swing high that, remember, at $42,000 all-time high to swing low down here. That's one. We were tracking this very 786 to 618 resistance. I did a prediction video thinking that Bitcoin wouldn't break this, and it did. I was definitely proven wrong. I don't usually do videos like that, but I was just throwing it out there. I didn't think in the short term Bitcoin was going to do that, and it did it. So we're tracking that Fibonacci, and what we're tracking is this 1618 line up here, this higher high resistance area. And then we're also tracking another very important key Fibonacci, which is that second lower high to the same low, swing low, and then we have the second 1618 line. So we kind of have this channel formed by two 1618 lines of two very meaningful, in my opinion, Fibonacci retracement areas. So, and there's the channel. These are two 1618 lines from Fibonacci. So we're going to continue tracking this. I do these videos, and I kind of, sometimes I put teasers out there, or I try and get people, I do a little clickbait. Like, I'm trying to get some people to view these videos, right? But, you know, sometimes I'm just like, this is the area. This is the area to watch. Can Bitcoin break this area? Because in my mind, this is what I'm thinking. This is a huge resistance area. This is 1618 resistance from, you know, these midterm Fibonacci's that I'm watching. And it's just in it as I do this video right now. And you can see it's in an upward. We have higher highs and higher lows trading into it, which I think is just only good for Bitcoin. And right now you can see this lower 1618 line. Bitcoin's trading above it. Obviously we wicked below it, but right now trading above it. Very good to see in the short term. You can see on the 6 hour, just some healthy higher high, higher low consolidation. And what we have, and I did a video I think yesterday or the day before, is just a ton of targets to the upside. We have one symmetrical triangle target, and that's not the right stinking trading view. What are you doing to me? It's a symmetrical triangle target that I actually don't have charted, but we've just been talking about it nonstop for like ever, it seems. We have one symmetrical triangle target around $55,000. We have another symmetrical triangle target around $51,500. We have this falling wedge on the hourly, which I'll show you in a second, $50,100. We have the $1 trillion magnet, like just over $53,000 just above us. And again, the move to the upside to that $1 trillion, around 14% to the upside, potentially, to hit that 1 trillion. And so that's where we are right now. We're in the middle of it, and we're in that resistance as Bitcoin is breaking with these higher highs and higher lows. And it's pretty interesting. The fact that we're maybe 10% or so from a downward target, 42,000, which will make us all wait for Bitcoin to bounce and Bitcoin to continue into this bull market. But we're also like 10% away from $1 trillion market cap, 10% away from all-time highs once again. And so as we track this together, it's very, very fun to watch. I tweeted this the other day. I said, Bitcoin is ready for $55,000. And as I watch this chart, if I can find it, it's still just very much in play. And when we talk about the breakout target for $55,000, this is that rising wedge breakout that we're looking for, and it's still in play. We're bouncing off this lower trend line. We already had a couple touches back here, and this was like 4 days ago. We had that original swing low, and we have 3 swing highs. 1 swing high, 2, 3. Now, one thing I do want to just kind of send a word of caution if you're out there watching the hourly charts is this. I talked about this in today's video. Very similar kind of vibe as Bitcoin was getting ready to break $20,000 once again. And this was back in November. Bitcoin kind of just doing this higher high, higher low thing back then, just about 3 touches to the upside, and it broke down. And right now we're kind of in a very similar move as like what happened here. And you can see Bitcoin, people had the right idea. Let's put it this way. You can see this hourly candle right here, that huge wick, huge bounce. People were buying that dip, which definitely the right idea. Maybe if they waited a few more hours, they would have bought the bottom, but it really was not a big difference. From that dip to the bottom was around 9%. And so there's a lot of similarities still, even for a case where Bitcoin actually breaks out to the bottom. So people, again, this time around, might have the right idea, buying the dip right here. But if this support fails and Bitcoin is to truly continue to downside, it'll be almost identical scenario, around 10% to the downside. So really, really interesting to see the similarities of Bitcoin in that regard. But we're going to have to continue to track this on the hourly chart. One thing to note at the end of the day, you know, I always have this in the back of my mind, that swing low before this nice run up that Bitcoin had. And this was back at the end of January to our previous swing high that we just had. Bitcoin's consolidating right now, hoping for a break to the upside. But we always have that drastic dip scenario for Bitcoin to that 50-day region, 50-day moving average region, confluent with a very key support area, Fibonacci retracement, also confluent with this upper trend line of that symmetrical triangle now that you can see on the screen. A ton of confluent support down here. And that's in the $36,000, $37,000 area. Not sitting here saying I want it to happen or I think it's going to happen, but especially if you're new in crypto, always have those scenarios in the back of your head. Not only so you can buy a dip, but just so that you can mentally prepare for that. You don't want to get caught just watching bullish videos nonstop, getting all hyped on Twitter, talking about $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 Bitcoin, and then all of a sudden you're caught off guard. If Bitcoin does pull a move like this, it's a 23% to the downside move, 22, 23%. It's like totally not out of the ordinary. The question is, I'm starting to really question those moves. I talk about those moves often. You all know that. I talk about dips. Through all the bear market, we track dips. We bought dips together, I'm sure. I talk about them, but there's just these shorter term dips when we start going in the hourly chart, they're getting scooped up, right, really quickly. And so those 30% dips, they just don't seem to be happening maybe as often as at least I once thought, right? So not sure we're going to get that. Maybe it's more of a dip to the $42,000 range, right? Another 10% to the downside, which would make sense on this hourly chart. So, you know, the charts are coming together, and that's what's awesome about this. Even in such a volatile environment, even when so many people are just kind of like technical analysis doesn't work, I continue to do videos every day showing and proving that technical analysis does work. And even today, I mean, I just showed you a short clip from today's video earlier talking about this exact move that's happening on the hourly. If nothing more, we were prepared for it, and now we're here and we're tracking the support right now. So what will Bitcoin do? If you just want to get a really nice picture of what we want Bitcoin to do, we could actually chart it. We can actually chart it this way. And this is just because this is how Bitcoin moves, especially in these rising wedges. We can take this dip that Bitcoin had, you know, people freaking out back here. Maybe I even did a live stream 4 days ago on this dip. I don't know. But we can take that dip to next swing high, and we can say this is the move that we want to see happen right now. And that would be like this. This would be Bitcoin consolidating now along this lower trend line, what we want to see, that's perfect, and a breakout to the upside, not only to the upper trend line, but breaking above it and then seeing support at it. Now, that would be the move that we want to see, because at that time, Bitcoin will be breaking $50,000. And then if we go back to this chart, Bitcoin will also be breaking through the upside of this resistance area that we've been talking. This is that 1618 area, 50,242. So speculatively, let's go back to the hourly chart and just see. Bitcoin would actually still be testing that stinking Fibonacci resistance. But you get my point, everybody. I know you get my point. That's what we're looking for. Truly, we're looking for Bitcoin to break back to the upside through that trend line and start seeing support above for continuation to the upside. The demand is there, everybody. The headlines are crazy. Like, I've been wanting to do a video on this stuff, you know, firms race to buy Bitcoin as mood shifts from why to why not. Bitcoin welcomes Tesla. Look at these headlines today. I mean, this was 2 days ago, but Bitcoin welcomes Tesla, MasterCard, BNY Mellon, Venmo to cryptocurrency party. Crypto alerts, Bitcoin to 150. So the thing is, this stuff that's happening like every week that you and I are seeing happen is not actually something I thought would happen in this cycle. And I'm going to be doing a video talking about that very thing, talking about basically not tweaking this chart, this long-term view of Bitcoin, but at least exploring that this bull market could surpass, I think, what a lot of us thought, that $100,000 range. And not only the time frame of it, but the height of it. You know, how long will this last and how high will this go? And the only reason I'm even exploring, kind of opening my mind to that, is just because of what is happening quicker than I thought it would actually happen. So right now, it's funny to talk about these very macro things when on the micro, it's just volatile. It's just a mess. It's crazy. But right now, this is what we're watching. This is what we're tracking. Wanted to do a quick update for you. In the short term, everybody, let's see. I mean, this is like it is really a thin support right now. Where Bitcoin trades, it is there. We're at support, like $46,700. What will Bitcoin do in that range from where it is right now? Time will tell. Be prepared for all scenarios. Somebody says ADA is crashing, bought at 95 cents. Let's look at some charts. I'll look at some charts. ADA, see, here's what I'm talking about. Look at Cardano. Look at the dip. First of all, Cardano is not crashing. If you've been watching Cardano, here's Cardano on the daily chart. Cardano is doing what it has to do, what it probably should do, which is it's cooling off a little bit. The gains on Cardano have been ridiculous. But even with this move right now, from the swing high that it just had in that, I mean, this chart says $1.03, but I don't think that's accurate. We're talking, it's come down 34%. This daily candle, not looking bad at all. We're talking about Cardano's at 80 cents. And I just want to remind you, the beginning of February, Cardano was at 34 cents. So Cardano's not crashing. Now, in regards to the point that the comment said he bought at 95 cents, I want to say if you're buying the top of any of these moves in crypto now or in the future, or if you've done it, I want to say from a mental perspective, start thinking, and this isn't financial advice, but start thinking about buying dips as opposed to buying hype and green candles. And especially if you can average in on dips, and if you can buy dips like this, then that is the way to go. My best approach, my favorite approach, is anticipate dips and scale in at like 2 levels. This could be a light buy level, and the heavy buy would just be like the ridiculous discounted buy if it actually goes that low. But right now there seems to be a lot of demand for Cardano. The other thing is, I saw some people talking about Ethereum. Ethereum, just in my opinion, is just getting ready to explode through $2,000. And it's kind of the same thing with Ethereum. Ethereum has people are scooping it up. So it's kind of like when you're looking at these altcoins and you're looking at the price projections and you're looking at the demand for Bitcoin, but also for these altcoins and what's going on in the projects and in the communities, and people are getting on board. They're trying to average in, they're trying to buy right now. These dips they're being scooped up pretty quickly. So when we do have volatility to the downside, like just for Ethereum, for instance, if Ethereum is going to if it does break out of this, right, this trend that it's in, I'm not quite sure how long a dip is going to last. And this is a daily chart. The 50-day moving average is at $1,300 on Ethereum. From where Ethereum is right now, that would be a 25% dip. And those are the dips. I just don't see them lasting very long. Could it trickle down slowly into that? Perhaps. And if it does, that's your kind of opportunity to scale in. Again, that's not financial advice, but that's kind of, from my perspective, when we get those slow bleeding moves to the downside, those are opportunities. They just are. But when you're looking at charts like this, Cardano, when we start just getting crazy, the green candles are just nonstop. You just have to be a little careful. And I say that within full context of the fact that there's, in my opinion, so much upside for Cardano. So and again, this, I don't want this to influence anybody, but if you bought at 95 cents, I don't think if you can hold even in the short term, that's going to be too big of a deal. And maybe it does. Maybe it consolidates down to the 50, 60 range, and then it takes midterm time to get back up there. But moral of the story, everybody, be patient, and also buy the fear. That's my approach. That's kind of what has helped me remain sane over the years in crypto. Because if you start buying up here when it's overbought, man, you have to really hope that like the hype continues, and so you don't kind of lose out on that position that you just entered. So that's kind of my thoughts on altcoins, and it really applies to all altcoins. I haven't really even looked at any other altcoins since this dip happened, but right now I think the most important thing to watch for is what Bitcoin does, how it interacts with this resistance level. That's kind of what I'm watching. So really curious to see what all of you are watching out there as well. Buy the fear, sell the greed. Buy the fear, says Austin, Crypto Revival. 100% agree. And everybody, if you look at, somebody's asked about ETH BTC. I think I have it somewhere. I don't know what chart that was. So when you're looking at, and let me go to a daily chart. If you're looking at ETH BTC, for instance, I mean, you can look at ETH BTC. You can look at LTC BTC, almost there. I'm still not 100% convinced, but I'm getting there. You can look at Cardano BTC. What we're starting to see is this trend of higher highs and higher lows on these altcoins versus BTC. And I think it's such a good thing, because I love, in a bull market, I love the ecosystem of cryptos and how the money flows through them. I love how the money flows through Bitcoin into altcoins, and I love how the charts reflect it. And you can just see higher highs and higher lows here on the Cardano Bitcoin chart, and higher highs, higher lows on the Ethereum charts, Litecoin chart. I'm telling you, if you're a Litecoin person out there, it's going to get there. It's going to get there. I've had this yellow line charted at the 0.003 for like a long time. I've just generally been waiting for it to get there. It's been so close. But everybody, we're in the middle of a bull market, and it's going to test your patience. It's going to test all of our patience. But if we can just be patient, I think we're all going to win. And that's kind of my update for Bitcoin right now. So to really kind of wrap that up, I want to go to an hourly chart, and let's go to this one because it's all charted in a mess. And this is it, everybody. And just to let you know, I don't know if you've ever been on a live stream of mine, but usually when I start a live stream, nothing happens, because that's just what Bitcoin does to me. And when I end the live stream, Bitcoin will move drastically in one direction or the other. So what we're watching for Bitcoin right now, and if you want Bitcoin to move, smash that like button. We're at 827. Let's get to 1,000 likes before I end this live stream. And let's see if Bitcoin moves. So this is what we're watching. Support of Bitcoin. We got the nice resistance that we talked about in today's video earlier today, which was a swing high, very short-term swing high to swing low resistance. You can see the touch in that Fibonacci resistance down. We pretty much almost perfectly hit this target right here, which was as we broke through this lower trend line, the blue trend line, hit the target. We wicked down, people scooping up some Bitcoin. Now we're trading sideways at this green line, and that's how we're going to end this live stream. And Bitcoin's going to make its move. We're going to see what happens next. But again, answering the question that I have in the title of this video, what does it really mean for Bitcoin? If Bitcoin falls to the target, $42,000 area, it's a 10% move for Bitcoin. Altcoins will be on sale. It's just consolidation. That's all it means. It's consolidation in a bull market. That's 100% my opinion. I can't guarantee that. I can't tell you for sure. But this is just starting, in my opinion. And I'm trying to say that without being too hype, without being too like, overly bullish or anything. But if you just look at the fundamentals, if you just look at the headlines and you look at the demand, it's different than the last bull market now. It's different on so many levels. And most of it, at the core issue of it all, it stems from the supply shock that is occurring. And not only retail wants Bitcoin now, but big money wants Bitcoin now, and they're getting in. So those are my thoughts. That's for another video. Let's see what Bitcoin does as I end this live stream. Smash that like on the way out. Hit the subscribe if you're not a subscriber. I truly appreciate you all. I really do. I appreciate it. I appreciate you all. And, I hope you had a great Sunday. I hope you have a good start to your week. We'll see what Bitcoin does tonight. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.